Lewis Hamilton's debut qualifying session as a Ferrari driver was anticipated to be a thrilling start to a new chapter. Instead, it turned into a sobering reality check for the seven-time world champion and the entire Scuderia. The Australian Grand Prix qualifying session exposed Ferrari's unexpected shortcomings, leaving Hamilton questioning just how much work lies ahead. After all the buzz surrounding his move to Maranello, this was far from the ideal start for either him or the team. But what exactly went wrong? Heading into the Australian Grand Prix, Ferrari was expected to be among the top contenders alongside McLaren and Red Bull. Their pre-season testing showed promising results, and early practice sessions in Melbourne suggested that they had a competitive car capable of fighting at the front. However, when it mattered most in Q3, everything fell apart. Hamilton's final lap in qualifying placed him in P8, while his teammate Charles Leclerc managed P7. While finishing behind Leclerc wasn't a massive shock for Hamilton, given the Monégasque driver's extensive experience with Ferrari, what caught him off guard was the significant gap to the frontrunners. McLaren's Lando Norris stormed to pole position, with Ferrari trailing by a staggering 0.8 of a second. Such a deficit is unacceptable for a team with title aspirations. Hamilton, known for his ability to adapt quickly, acknowledged that driving the Ferrari SF25 has been a major adjustment. He described the car as fundamentally different from what he was accustomed to at Mercedes. Although he has enjoyed the challenge, he admitted that Ferrari's lack of pace in qualifying took him by surprise. Speaking to the media after the session, Hamilton didn't shy away from his concerns. Before diving into all the details of Ferrari's qualifying struggles and Hamilton's candid reaction, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated with this thrilling F1 season. We are just getting started, and if today's qualifying session is any indication, the 2025 season will be full of unexpected twists and drama. Let us know in the comments. Was this just a bad day for Ferrari, or is this an early warning sign of deeper issues that could plague them all season long? Stay with us because Hamilton's revelations about Ferrari's challenges might change everything. "I generally feel good," Hamilton said. "I had a great time out there today. Everything this weekend has been a first. My first practice sessions with Ferrari, my first qualifying. It's been a real challenge to adapt. This car is so different from anything I've driven before, but it's been an intriguing process." However, his tone shifted when discussing Ferrari's overall lack of pace. "I definitely wasn't expecting to be 0.8 off today. There's a lot to analyze for sure. For a driver of Hamilton's caliber, being nearly a second off the pole position is unacceptable. He has built his career on extracting the most from his machinery, and the fact that both Ferraris struggled raises significant concerns about the SF25 single-lap performance. One of the most alarming aspects was that Hamilton and Leclerc didn't just lose out to McLaren and Red Bull. They were also beaten by both Racing Bulls and Williams, with Yuki Tsunoda and Alex Albon securing P5 and P6, respectively. That kind of result is a serious problem for Ferrari if they intend to challenge for victories and podiums. Leclerc was equally frustrated by the sudden drop in performance, especially considering how strong Ferrari looked in practice. He claimed the car felt completely different in Q3 and admitted he had no clear explanation for the shift. "Yes, I'm surprised," Leclerc said. "Not totally surprised by how the car felt in Q3, but definitely surprised overall. Yesterday, everything went smoothly, and the car felt great. But today, in Q3, it felt like a completely different machine, and I don't know why. We need to investigate." This raises serious concerns for Ferrari. If they cannot predict how their car will behave in crucial sessions, they risk losing valuable points throughout the season. Hamilton, meanwhile, remains committed to improving and understanding the car. He noted that his deficit to Leclerc in qualifying was minimal, which he sees as a positive sign given his limited experience with Ferrari systems. Charles has been with this team for 7 years. He knows this car inside out, not just this specific model, but the general characteristics and tools we use, Hamilton explained. "I'm still learning all of that, so to be this close in my first qualifying session, I'll take it." That being said, Hamilton understands that Ferrari has a lot of work to do if they want to match McLaren and Red Bull in race conditions. With a high chance of rain for Sunday's Grand Prix, things could become even more complicated. "Tomorrow will be a challenge," Hamilton admitted. "I've never driven this car in the rain. I don't even know the range settings yet, so I'll need to study that tonight. It'll be another learning experience tomorrow. So what does this mean for the race? Can Ferrari turn things around on Sunday? While qualifying was a disaster, race day presents a different challenge. Ferrari's long-run pace in practice wasn't terrible, and if the SF25 manages its tires well, Hamilton and Leclerc could still fight their way forward. However, starting behind both Williams and Racing Bulls is far from ideal. Ferrari needs to execute a flawless strategy, especially if rain comes into play. If they can make the right tire choices and time their pit stops perfectly, they might salvage a solid result. But if their qualifying struggles translate into poor race pace, it could be a long afternoon in Melbourne. More importantly, this performance raises bigger concerns about Ferrari's season. If they are already struggling this much in qualifying, what does that mean for their championship hopes? McLaren has made significant strides, and Red Bull, despite not locking out the front row, still appears strong. Ferrari cannot afford to be playing catch-up this early in the year. This result also adds an interesting layer to the Hamilton-Leclerc dynamic within Ferrari. Leclerc has been the team's golden boy for years, but Hamilton's arrival puts additional pressure on him. If Ferrari's problems persist, will Hamilton take on a larger role in developing the car and leading the team forward? The Australian Grand Prix is shaping up to be a crucial test for Ferrari, a defining moment that will reveal their ability to bounce back from adversity. With both Hamilton and Leclerc starting further down the grid than expected, the Scuderia faces an uphill battle. But can they recover on race day? Or is this just the beginning of a season-long struggle to match the frontrunners? The race won't just determine Ferrari's immediate prospects. It will provide the first real glimpse into the competitive dynamic between Hamilton and Leclerc. Will Hamilton's vast experience and racecraft allow him to climb through the field, or will Leclerc leverage his familiarity with Ferrari to gain the upper hand? Weather conditions, tire management, and strategy will all be pivotal in shaping Ferrari's fate in Melbourne. If they can capitalize on changing conditions and make the right calls at critical moments, they might still fight their way into contention. However, if their lack of single-lap pace carries over into the race, it could expose deeper flaws within the SF25 and cast doubt on their ability to compete for wins this season. This is just the beginning of what promises to be one of the most unpredictable F1 campaigns in years.